Hey guys, Dissection of Violence here. I'm gonna get this UFC Vegas 88 prediction video out for you guys. A few days late, but had to make sure I got all the tape done for this fight night. So we'll start off. We got Chad and Anheliger taking on Charalampos Grigoriou. No. Ugh. So Charalampos, he's a good fighter. He does his thing. He hits hard. Um, but this is a debut, and I do worry about the debuting guys. A CFFC prospect. Uh, I don't know what to call him a prospect. He beat a 2-5 opponent, 6-5, and Cameron Smotherman. Now, with this, you can think to yourself, "Damn, this guy must be good." Or you could see him getting TKO'd by C-Rod in the third round as maybe not a great thing. He beat Efren Scarano, but that was not the greatest win. Honestly, I'm gonna lean the side of Grigoriou just off the simple fact that he's younger, hungrier, and has more hate in his heart. But honestly, this could be a vet performance where he just shuts down the dangerous game of Charalampos. But it's hard to fade Longo. You know, Law MMA. It's kind of hard to fade Longo, but for that reason, I'm gonna take Grigoro by decision, but it's not gonna be as easy to call as people think it's gonna be. I think this could get sweaty, and honestly, I'm thinking about taking away my position on this fight just because it's too many unknowns, and Grigoriou, I don't know if he'll be good enough to beat Anheliger's vet savvy track tactics. Like Anheliger's, he's not the greatest, but he's pretty good, and I think he can, shut down this young upstart. But who knows, honestly. Moving on, we have Corey Mckenna taking on Jacqueline Amorim. I like this fight. I like this fight a lot. Now we have Amorim, who is a jiu-jitsu girl, pulls guard, gas is bad. But the thing with Jacqueline Amorim is she's very athletic, she's strong, and she knows how to grapple. But the problem is her offensive wrestling isn't great, and Corey McKenna can defend takedowns pretty well. She knows how to win minutes. She's got to get a good camp out at Team Alpha Male. I think she's gonna I think she's gonna shut Jacqueline Ormarian down, and I think she's gonna do so dominantly. As long as she doesn't get subbed, I think this is her fight to win. I think she's better wrestling, better striking. Honestly, this is all comes down to if she survives jiu-jitsu scrambles, and honestly, it could get hairy. But I'm gonna go the side of Corey McKenna here. I just don't rate Jacqueline Amorim at all, and other than her jiu-jitsu, I can't get behind her here. Um, yeah, I'm on Corey McKenna here. I'm pretty confident as well. Moving on, we have Danny Silva taking on Josh Culibao. This is a fun fight, honestly. I think this is gonna be potentially fight of the night. I think both guys bring it. I do think Kulibao's back's against the wall, which makes him very dangerous, which is why I'm not more heavy on Danny Silva. I do think this should be a pick'ems, but maybe with a slight edge to Culibao with experience. But honestly, this is a hard fight to call because Danny Silva, I know he doesn't have a great loss, but the guy who knows how to scrap, and his boxing is pretty good. Honestly, I could just see Danny Silva landing the better shots, hurting Culibao maybe. But honestly, this is a hard fight to call. I'm gonna lean Danny Silva, but I'm not confident, and I could end up switching by the end of this. So who knows? This is a hard fight to call. Um, I don't rate a loss over Kynan. Kynan, in my opinion, is just not good. And if you can lose to him, I think you could definitely lose to Josh Culibao. But it's not always MMA math doesn't always work out like that. So I'm gonna go with Josh Culibao here. No, I'm gonna go with Danny Silva here, lean, but I'm not confident, and this could go either way. I'm gonna go with Danny Silva having the better moments, being bigger, knowing how to use his size and his shot selection, and I think he's just gonna land the better shot to win a split decision or a decision. But honestly, this is a close fight. Moving on, we had we have Thiago Moises taking on Mitch Ramirez. Mitch Ramirez, he's a good fighter, man. I think Ramirez is very serviceable. He's got solid KO power. He attacks the body well. The thing with Mitch though is he hasn't really beat anybody that great. And Thiago Moises is, whether you like him or not, he's top 25, top 15 level. And I can't get behind Mitch Ramirez. Like he's got some nasty KO power, but for the most part, I just can't get behind him. I think Moises, if he doesn't get KO'd, gets a submission around 2 or 3. I think he's just a better overall mixed martial artist. So honestly, I'm gonna have to go with Thiago Moises, especially on short notice. I gotta favor the veteran who's had a fight camp and who understands how to win at the highest level. Aaron Tavares is definitely had a great win. And watching that fight, I'm more sold on Thiago Moises because Tavares was there to be hit, and I don't think Moises is going to be. I think he's going to employ footwork, and I think Thiago Moises' footwork is going to make him chase him. And I think he's going to find the takedowns off when he's getting chased. I think Thiago Moises is going to be just too live once it hits the ground, and I'm gonna go with Thiago Moises by sub round 2 or round 3, but I'm leaning round 2. Moving on, Filho versus O'Day Osbourne. Now, I would actually really early heavy on Filho because he has good wins. I rate Roybert Echeverria. I think he's a very dynamic striker, kind of like how O'Day is. And I just feel like Jafel Filo just withstood the damage that Roybert, you know, he calf kicked. I think it was calf kick. I can't remember this fight to a T, but I do remember that Roybert was having a lot of good moments, but the pace and the uh and the body work, I believe the calf kicks. I believe Filho's whole game is just more built for MMA than Ode. I feel like Ode is a nasty striker and he can find openings in the striking. But other than that, I don't rate his grappling. And I do think he's gonna struggle against a guy like Jafel who knows how to mix it up. Now his offensive wrestling is probably his weakest area. So I do think Ode can keep it on the feet. He can make this greasy and win a decision or even find a KO. But, this is a weird fight. I could see a lot of outcomes. For that reason, I'm not as confident in Filho anymore. And I'm probably going to look to arbitrage or get out of my position just because I have no interest in this at this price. Um, yeah, it's just not something I'm interested in right now. Um, we'll see. I could end up riding it out, but I don't know. We'll see. Definitely a fight that I'm not too interested in anymore, but I do think Filho is a very dangerous opponent, and I do think Filho can find a submission if it hits the mat for sure. I do think Ode is she does enough right things to where it could be very interesting, but I'm gonna still lean Filho here. I like Filho. I think he's more dynamic in the striking. I think he is very aggressive, and I know he has moments where he looks like he wants out, but I do think he's gonna fight through those moments and win here. But yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see an Ode win as well. Moving on, we have Josiane Nunes taking on Chelsea Chandler. Fun fight. Honestly, this could be very competitive until it hits the ground. I think Josiane Nunes is more aggressive on the feet, more dangerous on the feet. She's small, but I do think she's mighty. She has decent hips to get not get taken down. But I think Chelsea Chandler, if he does get the takedown, will be cause her a lot of problems. I think Chelsea Chandler, once on top, I think she can cause Nunes a lot of pain and discomfort. I think Chelsea Chandler is gonna mop the floor there if it hits the mat, but I don't know if Nunes will let her get the top game. I feel like she's gonna move her feet a lot, land big shots, and keep moving. I'm gonna lean Josie and Nunes, but I'm not confident here. This is a big pat spot for me. I have no interest in this fight betting from a betting perspective. I do think Chelsea Chandler is very, very live to get a TKO in rounds two or three, but I think Josie and Nunes is gonna be too dangerous and she's gonna be too, aggressive. Aggression. Her aggression is gonna be too much for Chandler. I do think she's gonna find the bigger shots and win a decision. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see Chandler get her down to TKO her. So weird fight. Interested to see how it plays out. Moving on, we have Mike Davis taking on Natan Levy. Mike Davis, he's a brute fighter. He's technical as all get out. Knows how to mix it up very well. I heard rumblings that he wasn't taking the camp seriously, but it turns out he was just screwing around. He's had a good camp, and Natan Levy is a good fighter. He brings the action. He has like a weird karate style. I just don't think it's gonna translate that well against a power puncher who goes to the body or like Mike Davis is just gonna be too good, too clean. His Muay Thai is good. His grappling's good. I think he's just gonna be too well rounded for Natan Levy. I think he's gonna work the body. I think he's gonna find the good shots, land the better shots, and win a UD. Could I see even a TKO from Mike Davis? Yes, but I can more likely see I can more likely see him just getting the better of him of the three rounds, landing the better shots, mixing in the takedowns. I'm gonna definitely go with Mike Davis here. I feel like he's currently underrated and he's very good. So yeah, moving on. We have Gerald GM3 Mearshart versus Brian Barberena. Now, honestly, this should be pretty linear. Gerald Mearshart should run away with this one. He's got the submission upside. His striking isn't bad. I think it's just, volume wise, it's not great. His cardio isn't great. But I do think Mearshart can, somewhat push a pace, a vet pace, like a Homer Simpson style, where like they gas out and he just comes on late and finds submission. But the problem is Barberena's style is kind of like that too. So it's gonna be a weird striking fair if Mearshart can't get him down. And if he can't get him down, I could see Barberena landing better shots on the feet and outpointing him to a decision. But I'm gonna go with Gerald finding the sub at some point. I do think the size difference will be real. And I'm gonna go with Gerald Mearshart by round two, round three submission. But honestly, this is a weird fight. I could see a few different outcomes. There's a lot of spots in this card that I initially liked and that I'm just gonna probably get out of my initial prediction. I have less than no interest in these fights right now, so we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing with it. But I'm on GM3 by sub. I just feel like Barberena is just gonna be too open to get submitted, and GM3 has a solid submission game. Moving on, we have Penny Kianzad versus Macy Chiasson. Now, honestly, I could care less. Honestly, I don't really care about this fight at all. I think Chiasson's gonna win this fight, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Kianzad steal a split decision. I actually have a play on this fight. I'm not gonna say what play because Discord's private now, not Discord, but the VIP chat. So I want to make sure that the VIPs are getting what they paid for. But yeah, Isaac Dog, sorry, Macy Shasham versus Penny Kianzad, no bueno for me. Big pass spot. I'm gonna go with Xiao Song by winning with control because of the knee surgeries from Kianzad. But honestly, I'm not confident, and I just don't want nothing to do with this fight. moving on to the fight that I'm most excited for on this card, Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Dulgarian. Now, this is a fun fight. I like Christian Rodriguez and I like Isaac Dulgarian. I think Isaac Dulgarian is going to have more tools to win. I think he's a better grappler and he has tail power. C Rod's more technical on the feet, but honestly, we don't know how truly good Isaac is on the feet. He faces good guys in the training room. He beats good guys in the training room. I can see him having a lot of success here, winning the first two rounds. Round three could get hairy, but I'm gonna go with Isaac Dulgarian by unanimous decision, round one and two. Maybe with T Rod coming on late, round three. This is a fun fight though. I honestly could see C Rod come spoiling the party. But we'll see. It's a weird fight. I really like Dulgarian, and I feel like if this might be the last time we get him at this price, if he does win this fight. So I'm on Isaac here, and I think he wins this by unanimous decision. Moving on, we have Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Ovens St Preux. Ovens is just not here anymore. He doesn't care about fighting these high level guys. I know Nzechukwu isn't really high level, but he's still up somewhat on the cost of being high level. And I think Nzechukwu is gonna put the hurting on Ovens. I think he's gonna stay patient, not rush to finish, find the shots when they're there, and I think he's gonna take OSP out by TKO in the second or late first. I think Kennedy's just going to be too much on the feet, and OSP is just not trying to fight anymore. Lands front kicks at range and just looks to win by decision. And I just don't think that's a good style against Nzechukwu. I'm going to go Nzechukwu by KO round two, late round one. But honestly, I could see this getting greasy as well. It's light heavyweight, so the skill isn't great, and it can, give some opportunity for Ovens. Moving on, we have Brian Battle taking on Loosa. I like this fight a lot. I think Loosa's game. I think Brian Battle's game. But we don't know what of each is going to show up. I could see a KO for Brian Battle, or I could see Brian Battle winning by decision, using his kicks at range. But honestly, Loosa is very good himself. Mixes up his grappling as well. So this is a weird fight. I'm gonna go with Brian Battle here to win the better moments, winning a decision. But honestly, I wouldn't be shocked to see Loosa get a decision win. It's a close fight, but I'm gonna go with Brian Battle here. I think he's just gonna be too talented, too well rounded, and Loosa is I think he might gas in the third, like he did against Reese McKee, and I guess Brian Battle. You never know how that could turn out for you. So this is a weird fight. I honestly I wouldn't bet this fight. Um, but if you are gonna bet this fight, I would probably lean Brian Battle. I'm gonna go with by decision. Moving on, we have the main event. We have Tuivasa versus Marcin Tybura. Honestly, I gotta just go. I didn't realize how old Tybura was, and for that reason, I'm gonna lean Tuivasa. But man, I'm not confident at all. I could see Tybura winning this, and I might even switch back to Tybura. Just having an overall MMA game is huge in 2024, and Ty Tuivasa has no grappling, so I'm gonna go with Ty by KO, but I'm not confident I can end up switching my prediction by fight day. So definitely don't want to be married into that prediction, but we'll see how it goes. Um, let's see. My number one, let's go with my top five picks, and we'll close her out. So my number one pick would be Kennedy Nzechukwu. Number two would have to be Thiago Moises. Number three would be Mike Davis. Number four would have to be Macy Chaisson. And number five would be Gerald. I don't even know. I think I would go to Corey Mckenna number five. Honestly, I gotta switch up my predictions a bit. It's a hard week. It's not easy, so take that with a grain of salt and be careful with this week. Don't be too hard on yourself if you have a bad week. It's a tricky week. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe, join the Discord, come meet with the team, and I'll see you next time.